Welcome back. In the last section, we took a deeper dive into CORS concepts and how it applies to our context of distributed application design. We also looked at how Node.js supports cross-origin requests in terms of implementation perspective. So the next thing I want to do here is take this code and deploy this on our Heroku app and see the interactions between our front end and the back end. Okay, so let's take a look at that, and I'll head over to my terminal in here, and over here on Indie Cafe I have my JIT status already executed, and it says there is a change in here for index.js. And if I do a JIT diff of src/index.js, it should give me those changes. So essentially we've removed the earlier implementation of CORS, and we've gone ahead and used this new construct library provided by NPM, and we also provided some CORS options here. There can be multiple other options that can go into this, but we'll not look at them right now, and in case if it's required, might come back and revisit. All right. Okay, so with this in place, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and use our script in here, which is push to JIT. Should be here, yeah, right here. So what I'm going to say is push to JIT, and I need to provide a comment. I think it essentially takes a comment. If I do, let me do a CLS type push to JIT, yeah, and it essentially expects a branch name as the second parameter, and the comment is the first parameter. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to say push to JIT, and the first parameter is the comment, and I'm going to say CORS implementation. Okay, and I'm going to say this is going to be 2. Look at some of the branches here. Let's say git branch -a. Okay, this was actually 2.3. Okay, let's go ahead and use 2.4 here. Okay, let me clear screen. Push to git. Okay, and this is going to have a comment of CORS implementation. Okay, and the branch name that I'm going to use is 2.4-API-catalog. Okay, is this catalog? It is not catalog, right? Actually, it is catalog because we're not doing any changes per se. So we'll retain this catalog stuff, right? Because the cart component related changes are going to come sometime in the future. Until then, we will continue to use the catalog. Okay, super. So, okay, let's go ahead and say enter. This is going to essentially push our changes into GitHub repo, the remote server. Let's go here and look if our changes actually made their way into GitHub. I'll go over to this, and there we go. Less than a minute ago we had one change. Okay, and let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and compare and do a pull request. And let's see if we are saying we're able to merge. And if you want to look at the changes in here, these are the changes that are actually going in. Okay, super. So let's go ahead and make this pull request, create the pull request, and after that we essentially have to merge this pull request. And before we do that, I want to go in here. I think we have our settings set to auto deploy, if I'm correct. So if I go over to deploy right now, this is actually set to auto deploy, right? And then we have automatic deploy, it's essentially enabled, right? So if that is the case, we are better off doing the setup for our environment variables, right? So if I go into settings and let's say reveal config vars, I need to create another variable here called CORS origin. Okay, CORS origin, and in here I need to give an origin for my Netlify domain, and that is gonna be something like this. Right now I think my Netlify domain is not running here. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and say Indie Cafe I keep changing this just for experimentation purposes. So indiecafe.netlify.app, yeah, that's the one. So right now we are essentially on indiecafe.netlify.app, and yeah, we're running just fine. So I can go ahead here and provide that particular domain name. Let me head over to the root, copy this, okay, and come over here, paste, okay, and add. And hopefully we should not bounce this. Let's see if I go back over to Netlify app, if there is any change in terms of the behavior. If there was, it would actually not throw up all our dishes, alright? And maybe, you know, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna slightly change this. Let's go ahead and say netlify dot, let's go ahead and say netlify dot, oops, actually, you know what, we have not deployed our stuff yet. Alright, totally forgot about it. So what we're gonna do here is go over back to here and say do a merge pull request and confirm merge, okay, and this should actually trigger a build in here. And if I go to overview, it should have triggered a, what about deploy activity? Yeah, it is actually triggered a build here, okay. So soon after, it's gonna essentially start the deploy. Alright, so the deployment happened here, and let's go over to Netlify window where we've deployed our React app. And in here, yeah, this is the window. I'll go here and come back to browse again. Yep, sure, we're looking good here. And if you want to look at the application logs here, let's see if it actually gives us some interesting logs. So yeah, nothing related to CORS per se. I thought it would actually log that. Did we retain it? Not sure. Don't think we retained that. If I go over back to API, oh yeah, we did retain it. Apparently it's been, I think the logs would have rotated here on the console. Okay, no problem. So what I'm going to do now is head over back to my settings and into config vars, okay. I'm going to change the CORS origin. Okay, let me head over to the CORS origin. I'm going to change it to, let's say, .in, okay. Okay, it's right here. Okay, super. So we have saved it here, and if I go over the activity, it should essentially say the same thing just now, right? And if I go over into my IndieCafe UI component, head over to here, and then back to browse, because that's where we are doing the cross-origin request. And let's see what happens. I would be keen to look at the console and the inspection tabs. And let me open that, head over to browse. This time around, inside the console, we should get the CORS error, okay? So what it's saying is, we are actually calling the APIs from this domain, but the allowed domain is actually different. So, which means our CORS policy is working just fine. So, which is nice to see. So, let's head over back to Heroku app and head over to our settings and essentially undo that change. I'm going over to the CORS origin, and in here set it back to .app. Okay, let me see if I can scroll down here, save changes. If I head over back to the IndieCafe app, hopefully that should come back up to life again. Yes, there we go. Okay, and if you want to try this on the local now, let's say head over to our local implementation, and in here, if you want to essentially change it to go back to this remote Heroku based API setup, okay, Again, I need to go ahead and bounce this. Let me quickly do that. Alright, it's back up. So if I go in here and then look at the browse, I should actually get an error now, because right now it's not allowing localhost, and if you look at the console, it should be saying as much as such. So this is where we are right now. So our course is working fine and we're in a good shape, and it gives us some kind of security in terms of attacks from the web, from unknown callers and all that scary stuff. And so right now what we're going to do here is we're going to take a quick pause. Okay, take a brief pause, come back soon.